Hey everybody, on today's episode we're going to be doing des Palets Breton. Now what are those? Well, palais is a French word for disc, and Breton means from Brittany. Now, in order to clarify this, we'll get a little map of France here. So here's France, and this little northwestern piece that sort of points out into the English Channel and the Bay Biscay is the area that we're going to be concentrating on. Now the cookies from these areas have a lot of butter in them, a lot of dairy producing, force of history, culture, and they also have a lot of salt there, natural salt marshes, and this particular cookie uses salted butter instead of unsalted. Now in the pastry context, a lot of people say, hey, wait a minute, that's pretty different. It is different, but the taste is fantastic. And a friend of mine sent me a text saying she wanted to know how to make a really quick and easy shortbread style cookie that doesn't require too much work. So the wheel started turning, and I said, Palets Breton. To make our Palets Breton, first we're going to need some flour, 150 grams worth. I'm using all-purpose in this case, but you could use pastry flour if you like as well. Next, we're going to need 90 grams of salted butter. Now salted butter is particular to this region and this style of baking, so I suggest you use it. If you don't, just add more salt to unsalted butter. We're going to also need 8 grams of baking powder. This gives our cookie a bit of lift. We're also going to need 75 grams of sugar for our cookie. Not a lot, but just the right amount. We're also going to need 2 egg yolks to give our cookie a bit of richness, a bit of extra protein. And for flavoring, I'm using lemon zest. Now this is an option. It tastes good without it. Nice sweet buttery flavor, but lemon just amplifies everything just a bit. You could also add vanilla, lavender. There are plenty of options. Just keep it simple. The first step is to sift the flour and the baking powder together. Now I'm using a fine mesh strainer here, and basically I'm just going to tap them right through into a clean bowl. Now this helps aerate, give the cookie a bit of lightness, and it mixes everything together. Once that's done, we add our salted butter to the mix. Then what we do is we get our paddle attachment and we start mixing it together until it starts to become pretty grainy. Then, once it starts to look grainy, we add the sugar. Now we want to continue mixing it until it looks like a coarse breadcrumb. Next, we're going to add our egg yolks. Now this is going to help bind everything together, give it a little bit of color, give it a bit of flavor, and just helps everything mix together really well. Once that's done, we add our flavoring agent. In this case, a little bit of lemon zest, but you don't have to. These cookies are fantastic on their own, buttery and sweet. See, starting to get those big coarse lumps. Now here I have a silicone mold. These are good for individual cookies, muffins, that sort of thing. And we take our coarse mixture and we're just going to pack it in there. If you know how to make a sandcastle, you know how to make this. So take a portion, pat it in there, and make sure you fill it up as far as you can go. And into a 350-degree oven for 15 minutes. Take it out, put it on a cutting board, flip it over, peel back the mold, and we'll have a bunch of Palets Breton. A real classic French cookie, buttery, sweet, simple to do. Perhaps one of the easiest shortbread style cookies that you can make. They preserve well. They're really good eating with a cup of coffee, cup of tea. Very simple. It's comfort food at its simplest. So I hope you try out these cookies. They're really easy to do. I'm having mine with some ice cream here. I might even show you how to do it next week. So I hope you share, like, and subscribe. and take some time to explore all the wonderful foods from Brittany in France. Cheers, everybody.